Have caused chaos across the city for a third consecutive day, with police watching on for hour after hour, even though they promised tough action. They took over the Shrine of Remembrance, leaving war veterans disgusted.
At our city's sacred war memorial, a battle between self-described freedom fighters and heavily armed police comes to a frantic end. Flashpoint reached as riot police push their way onto the steps of the shrine. Protesters who'd refused repeated requests to leave, now on the run. For more than 3 hours, they stood firm, a makeshift coalition of construction workers, anti-vaxxers and anti-lockdown activists. The show of force echoed scenes earlier this morning outside CFMEU headquarters. There was a handful of arrests as officers on foot and horseback prepared to engage protesters who never came. The Chief Commissioner had promised a hardline stance today, vowing scenes like this from yesterday wouldn't be tolerated.
I'm not going to talk about what our tactics are, save to say that those tactics will be different.
But again, police appeared powerless to stop a 4-hour game of cat and mouse. Instead of targeting the union office, activists marched through the streets in smaller groups, flying a right-wing symbol, the red ensign flag, and letting off flares. One group circling Queen Vic Market, passing by the famous donut van. This may have been the closest officers came to protesters.
They're shooting at us again!
Forcing one cluster to scatter.
It's an absolute war zone down here in Melbourne.
Some left bearing the scars.
I put my arms up in the air and I didn't run. I got shot about 5 times in the back.
A few strayed from the pack to spread their message and were quickly targeted. But there was safety in the swelling crowd as it's made its way unchallenged all the way down Swanston Street and up to the shrine, its custodians horrified by the choice of the protest location.
This is one of the most distressing days that I could have ever imagined happening here at the shrine. That people would choose to protest here is outrageous and deplorable.
It's an insurgent not seen for decades.
There have been protests at the shrine in association with events such as the Vietnam War, but nothing of a major scale since that time.
This is sacred ground. This is proof that freedom is not a lie. But if you come in and arrest us and drag us off, then you will make it a lie.
As the hours passed, a few arrests were made on the sidelines, men and women. Protesters reiterating their threat to keep rallying until the 2-week construction shutdown is reversed.
Every day. This sort of behaviour puts everything at risk. This sort of behaviour is unlawful, it's ugly, it will not be tolerated.
Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
And Paul Dowsley has the latest on the protest. Paul, there's an extraordinary new tactic from police.
Mitch, we haven't been able to show you live pictures from our news helicopter of these protests for the past 4 hours. That is because of an unprecedented move from Victoria Police to ban it from the skies above our CBD. So, Channel 7 and 9 are preparing a legal challenge after aviation authorities agreed to a request from Victoria Police to keep our helicopter out of the skies until Monday above the city. Officers believe, senior police believe, that these protesters are using our vision to track ahead where police are and then change the direction of where the protest group is going. But after complaints from media, police in the past half hour have adjusted that. They will allow us to fly, but we can't use our pictures for 1 hour. There'll be a 1 hour delay, they say, so protesters can't use our pictures to track police locations. So, Mitch, we will continue with the legal challenge because we want to keep bringing our viewers live images from the sky if these protests continue